Well, we are once again honored and privileged to be here with the Corporate Equity and Inclusion Roundtable. I've been involved with CEIR since 2016 when I spoke on a panel about Ban the Box way back when. So again, it's an honor and a privilege to be here in my capacity with the Pittsburgh Penguins today. So our vision, we want to be the best organization in sports, respected for our culture of excellence, both on and off the ice. And our mission is to win the Stanley Cup, energize and inspire our fans, positively impact our community, and advance the game of hockey. So we do much more than just hockey. So we have created a culture of DEI to build a welcoming and supportive environment and workplace, practicing inclusive behaviors that increase collaboration, productivity, and innovation. The champion pillars that we have emphasize the importance of leadership in creating a diverse, inclusive workplace. Our leaders set the tone, so it's starting from the top and going down. So the entire organization models inclusive behaviors that promote a culture of respect and understanding. Under each pillar, we are striving to create an environment where our employees feel that they are valued, that they are supported. This includes offering training and resources that promote DEI, as well as fostering open communication with our staff so that they can also give us feedback. The community pillar focuses on our commitment to giving back to our community. Again, we want to be the best organization in sports, both on and off the ice. So we partner with local organizations to support initiatives that are going to promote diversity and inclusion and encourage employees to volunteer with those organizations. Under the careers pillar, we want to emphasize our commitment to providing equal opportunities for all of our employees to grow their professional development. We also offer training to those employees. And then finally, under our clients pillar, excuse me, that's our commitment to building strong relationships with our clients by understanding and respecting them. And then lastly, we are champions on the ice for our staff. We work with the NHL with Hockey is for Everyone. We started the Willie O'Ree Academy. Willie O'Ree was the first Black drafted by the National Hockey League, and we have a training program with him. Delvina.
Great. So again, when you're looking at those 5 pillars, and we really wanted to showcase to you all internally how we go about diversity, equity, and inclusion. So those 5 pillars are things that our staff are aware of, and they also really do align with the playbook. So when you're looking at the playbook, and we'll go into greater detail on that, it already complemented a lot of the work that we already are doing at the Penguins. And so when we're talking about our culture, right, a culture of belonging and, you know, those elements, so we want our staff to feel seen. So we do that by making sure that they're recognized and rewarded and respected, not only by leadership, but by their fellow colleagues. We started a Golden Puck program where staff are able to nominate each other for their great work, for their commitment to the credo, for customer service. And it's been a really great program where people are able to recognize each other and then have that opportunity to be recognized in front of all of our C-suite, all of our entire staff base. We want our staff to feel connected. So we are finding ways for them to feel connected at work. We have a DEI Connect in the Break Room series, one of the many programs that fosters connectivity in our organization. So just recently, we hosted Diwali for our staff, where we use the power of food and education to bring our staff together. So this is an informal program in the break room where we're able to bring our staff together. And then we want our staff to feel supported, creating space and forum where they're supported at work and in their personal lives. We have a lot of young and new staff in our organization, and some of them we already know are going to be here and not with their families for Thanksgiving. I know Tracey's hosting a few of them, right? And so that's a part of that feeling supported, not just at work, but also personally. And then we want our staff to feel proud. And obviously we're looking at this through the lens of our entire staff, but when you're looking at it through the lens of our Black staff, obviously that's really important. We have been huge supporters of Juneteenth. We've been marching in the parade. We've had floats. We have custom t-shirts. We want our staff to feel proud, all of our staff. And so we've worked really hard on that. When we're looking at our culture, again, these are some of the elements of how we drive a positive culture at the Penguins. We believe in transparency through employee communication. So I'm sure everyone has a WebEx or a Microsoft Office or something of that nature, but we have dedicated an HR DEI communication spaces where we're able to push out information specific to DEI or HR related opportunities. And again, we have an annual culture awareness series where we're making sure that every month our staff is aware of the different cultural themes and identity related content that we have going on throughout the month. We originally started our DEI work through a council, which has now kind of evolved, and we are starting employee resource groups. So we'll be announcing that for our staff, but we surveyed our staff. We worked through our friends at Vibrant Pittsburgh to really create a framework to, again, create a culture that people feel invested and that they belong. And then a staff appreciation. We're a hockey team, so it's fun, right? So we have Wellness Week. There are some really fun perks like going to games, concerts, staff events. I mentioned the Golden Puck Awards and then regional awards program like the Fab 40, 30 under 30, things of that nature. And then, of course, education and training is very important to our organization. So we've been very fortunate to be partners at Vibrant Pittsburgh, and we participate in their Lunch and Learns, ensuring that our staff is taking advantage of that. We have our Connect in the Break Room series, which I talked about. We've done in-person town halls and DEI rallies, and then online ethics training and sexual harassment training.
So Pittsburgh Penguins have also hosted many career fairs. We want to focus on recruitment, retention, and advancement. Those are our core principles to career advancement. And so we want to just make the Pittsburgh Penguins an attractive employer for all active applicants in the region. So with regard to careers, we follow the comprehensive Rooney Rule, and we have received results. We broadcast our employment opportunities on various platforms throughout the country. There are many sports-related venues we use, but we also use Vibrant Pittsburgh as well. So we are building ongoing relationships also with minority advisors as local colleges and universities, and also through professional sports organizations. So our careers in recruitment, this is just a list of some of the organizations that we are reaching out to and have reached out to, and the impact that we've seen with regard to those career fairs. Career recruitment. So we also want to expose youth to hockey early. We want to give them an opportunity to see that you don't just have to play hockey to work in hockey. I'm a lawyer by trade, but I work for a hockey team. So we are partnering with Pittsburgh Public Schools. We have our All-Stars, Pittsburgh Public Schools, our PBS All-Stars program. We also have the Teen CEO program. We have the Hunt Armory, which is our temporary ice rink, which is in the city, to give youth who do not have exposure to hockey opportunities. We also work with Nazareth Prep. My intern, Mariah Nash, is here with me today. So again, giving youth and students opportunity to have exposure to hockey and careers in hockey.
And then when we're looking at retention, again, finding ways to ensure that once we get our diverse staff, and how do we actually keep them? Retention is really important. And you'll see the little CEIR logo and then the arrow. And so again, these are parts of our internal playbook, and these are actual bullet points from the playbook that fall perfectly in line with what we're already doing. So identifying and eliminating informal barriers to employment and promotion, which Shayla and Kelly spoke about earlier. Formal reviews. We have a formal review process, and people are benchmarking. How do I get from where I am now to becoming a director, a senior director, and so forth? Providing opportunities for sponsorship. That's very important to our organization. Promoting a culture of belonging. We've talked about that already. What does that really look like for us as a tool to retain our diverse staff? We spoke about ERG groups, and then volunteerism. Volunteerism is a really big driver for us. We're able to actually look at some of our staff who've been with us from the very beginning, and where they've participated in volunteerism to see their growth and how they have grown throughout the organization.
So we also want to ensure development opportunities for our staff, such as mentoring, networking, training, and just professional development as a whole. So we are active participants in the TALI, the Advanced Leadership Institute. Both Delvina and I have gone through the program. The Allegheny County Bar Association, we have worked in their Ally program, as well as their summer clerkship position, which gives underrepresented law students opportunities to do law clerk positions. We've sent staff through Leadership Pittsburgh, and we just recently, we have a young staff who is going to be with the Next Generation Council with Vibrant Pittsburgh.
So then, of course, we're here to talk about our actual implementation of Tim's CEIR DI playbook. And so, obviously we have to throw in some sports stuff, right? From rookie year to second year. And so obviously we've been doing this work longer than 2 years, but we're really looking at it from the lens of the first year, last year, to where we are today. So this is a video without sound that you're going to see. And so why we included this, so on the left, this is the actual PDF playbook that Tim has put together, right? And so this outlines all of the different goals. There's like 50 plus when you really break it out, over 100 lines in Excel. On the right, you're going to see how we are actually tracking our work. So this is a live document. There's like 7 different tabs based off of every single one of the metrics that Tim has put in his playbook, and we are tracking this. And so you'll see where you click on something, I've clicked on something there, and it shows when we've moved from one stage to the next. This is really important for us because we're able to look and see when we started tracking this in 22, where are we 3 months after that? So every few months, I'm going into this document, we're updating it, Tracey and I are having conversation. We love the physical document, right? But for us, having it as a living, breathing document that we can share and have access to is really important to this work. So one of the key points, obviously, is also talking about a diversity dashboard. So this is something, again, when we're looking from 22 to 2023, obviously, which is where we are, we've had a significant increase in our staff. And we want to be very transparent. Obviously, we're a hockey team, and so diversity of our staff is something that we're continuing to expand upon and grow. And it's also important to note that when we are talking about our African American and Black staff, we are talking about front office employees. So these are full-time, entry level to the C-suite employees. So this is a really great number. When you look across the league, across 32 teams, we are one of the leading diverse hockey teams with Black staff. So that's really important to keep in mind.
And we have one Black hockey player.
Yes, and we have one Black hockey player. And again, these things may sound like, wow, that's horrible, but when you look at other teams, we're actually leading in those efforts. So again, looking at our diversity dashboard, we know that it's important to have a path for advancement. And so it's not just everyone at the entry level. So you look at these numbers, you're seeing staff at the entry level, manager plus, VPs, hockey ops, and the C-suite. So for someone that is in our entry level, they can see a manager and they can say, okay, that's going to be me in 2 years. That manager is looking at a VP. VP's looking at the C-suite. So there's real opportunity for growth. And being able to track this, again, this is something that Tracey and I look at and we're aware of. And so this really helps in our efforts.
So we, by all means, wanted to adopt the CEIR playbook for advancement. And so we also work with the African American Chamber and Vibrant Pittsburgh to advance our efforts. So with the playbook, we wanted to, this is the pathway that we're taking for our employment practice. We have implementation of CEIR. So we use the comprehensive Rooney Rule. And as you just saw, we have results with that. We then broadcast those opportunities. We put them out on various platforms. And again, utilizing resources here in the city of Pittsburgh as well as nationally. Then with regard to the way that we go by looking at those candidates, we do a panel interview. We also try to ensure that we always have an African American on that panel to, again, reduce bias during the interview process. We then take down some of those informal barriers. We're trying to eliminate barriers to allow for promotion and advancement of our African American staff and retain them. And then with regard to evaluation, we have internal staffing plans to ensure that our African American staff have opportunity to be advanced. We're not quite sure how we're going to fully implement that evaluation process, but we have started a full evaluation process for all staff.
And I think just adding on this, when you look at the identify and eliminate, so there was a African-American staff member from Brooklyn who was applying for a job here at the Penguins. He came in, you know, you see each other, you do the little head nod thing, and he found me on LinkedIn afterwards, and he was like, tell me, where should I move to? Like, where should I find a house? So we were talking, I shared some locations with him, so he thought that that was really helpful. And then he said, okay, I need to find a hairdresser. Like, where am I going to go to get my hair done? And so for him, you know, these were things for him, being able to relocate to a new city, not knowing anyone, but already having familiar faces that he could ask these questions to that he may have felt uncomfortable asking maybe someone else for.
Exactly. We've given him several different hairstylists to go to for his locks. We also want to build ongoing relationships with historically Black colleges and universities and predominantly Black institutions. So we are working to ensure that we're reaching out to those HBCUs to create relationship and to create opportunities for students to come and intern with us. We also want to provide opportunities for sponsorship to get our staff to the C level. Again, we're working to develop those employment recruitment strategies. We can always build, we can always be better at recruiting staff. We want to create internal and external organizational affinity groups. So as Delvina mentioned, we're working right now to create our ERGs. We polled staff, and there are 3 particular ERGs that we're looking to create in 2024, and then implement. So we're committed and currently practicing this right now, doing the comprehensive diversity and inclusion training program. So once a month, we have DEI training for staff, both locally, and then there is some national training through the National Hockey League that we give to staff on an annual basis.
So then again, just really looking at that, provide opportunities for sponsorship from entry level to C-suite, just really looking at the continuum of advancement for 3 specific Black employees, obviously myself and Tracey included, but then another colleague that we have here. So, you know, starting in 2019 as Deputy General Counsel to Director of HR, then to, again, Deputy General Counsel to VP, and then to General Counsel to Chief People Officer. So that shows real growth. It's a real continuum within the organization. For myself through this, starting as a director, becoming a senior director, and then a vice president. For another one of my colleagues, you know, he started as an assistant and now he's a coordinator, right? And so this shows real advancement and opportunities for our staff. And I realized this had a T on it, so you were supposed to do that.
That's okay. That's all right. Teamwork makes the dream work. With regard, again, continuing just on our employment practices. So we are committed, but not quite sure yet how we're going to implement that diversity dashboard. But we do have our living, breathing document, and that is working very, very well for us. We are committed and currently working on implementing and expanding the number of internship opportunities that we have. We're also going to start doing fellowships. I'm happy to announce that we have started a fellowship program. We are paying interns in our technology department. 2 of the 3 interns that we had hired were African-American men from the city of Pittsburgh to work in our technology department as fellows. We have discontinued the use of asking for salary history in our application process. And we are right now working as leaders to take a leadership role to ask others to use the processes that we are using and adopt the practices of CEIR.
We're almost done. We're almost done.
So another thing that we've also done, and we did this before the Playbook, we worked with the African American Chamber of Commerce, and we're also working with the Beam Collaborative right now to work on our supplier diversity. We buy a lot of products across the street there, whether it be for the Pittsburgh Penguins, whether it be for Aramark, which is our food and beverage provider, or whether it be for the organization, that runs the OVG 360, which runs PPG Place.
So one of the things that we've done to advance opportunities for supplier diversity, we've worked with the African American Chamber of Commerce to do a how to do business with the Pittsburgh Penguins. We've been doing this for 3 years now. And so what's really helpful is oftentimes people don't really know the pathways to actually getting business from the Penguins. So we have really broken out all of the different ways in which you can work with the Penguins. Again, the Penguins, OVG, Aramark, our Lower Hill redevelopment, and then furthermore, explaining all of the different pathways to actually getting a piece of our business, which is so important. And then also, you know, when we're looking at some of the diverse companies that we're working with, we're looking at how do we incorporate them, obviously from a very formal standpoint, buying products and things of that nature, but then finding other ways to work with them. Nice to Be Ice Cookies, a local cookie, African-American woman who's a cookie designer. We've been working with her for several years now. ATU Food Truck, we've brought them in internally for programs that we've had. Cobbler World is actually featured in our Lexus Club as a vendor providing sweets, and then CDI Printing. We've been working with them for several years now as well. And then we really wanted to showcase Liz Poppin Balloons. Anyone know Liz Poppin Balloons? Well, you're gonna know her today, right? So Liz Poppin Balloons, she is a black balloon vendor, really one of the only that we know of, black vendors that does balloon work in the city of Pittsburgh. So year one, we met with her when we were doing our Black History Month program, and she designed some really beautiful balloons for us for one suite. We said that was great. We liked working with her. Year two, she not only did our Black History Month decor, which expanded at that point, but then she started collaborating with our events team. She did Gender Equality Month. She did another project. Year three, she's now the preferred balloon vendors with a $5,000 to $10,000 annual spend. We will only use her for 8 to 14 of our events per year. So, yeah, so this is a small example of how we're working to scale her up to taking on businesses with the Pittsburgh Penguins. So we thank you all for the opportunity to present. You want to have closing words? No.
Again, it's just a privilege to be here, and thank you for allowing us to show you how we do it at the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Close out of the second.